Who else here has ever battled any self-doubt or feeling the imposter syndrome? What we don't realize is a lot of times our environments, you have a physiological response to the way people around you perceive you. And you start to fit into that mold whether you realize it or not. And over time, it becomes reinforced with the self-image, which is what we're talking about here. What it comes from is the expectations of the people around you. When I go back to Kansas, I, for lack of a better term, kind of shrink up because every person who knew me in Kansas knew me as the guy who didn't get girls. And so one of the things I want you to realize is your self-image is under your control 100%. When I dropped out of dental school, there was no reason for me to think I was a dating coach because I didn't have clients yet. It was like, who am I to give dating advice? Who am I to teach other guys how to do this? Like, I'm a guy who used to suck with girls. I stepped into that role because I made that my self-image. Because of the things I'd done up to that point in my life, I was confident in my ability to do so. And here's what's crazy is before anybody knew who Patrick James was, I would go to events like this and I would tell people, listen, it's just a matter of time. There's no way it doesn't work if I just persist. The only way it doesn't work is if you stop. And the only reason you're gonna stop is if a girl turns you down, a girl doesn't respond, and then you just say, you know what, maybe it's not meant to happen. And then you just stop. If you're battling self-doubt, it really comes down to this one thing that can either become an upward spiral of success or a downward spiral of doom. First, it starts with our potential. You guys are men, you have the ability to speak words, so there is some level of potential there for you to be able to talk to a girl and maybe get her attracted to you. And that potential, it leads to you taking a certain action. You approach a girl or you overthink and you don't approach a girl, right? That potential can directly correlate into the action that you take. Sometimes you take action, but then this moment happens and you freeze up. What happens when you take an action is you get a result. And from that result, we get belief. And that belief goes directly back into our potential. So let's say you get a negative result. She doesn't text you back, she doesn't respond, and that result leads you to believe, who am I to get these types of girls? Of course a girl like that didn't respond to me. And then that belief now affects your potential moving forward. And does your potential go up or down if that's your belief? Down. So you repeat this cycle over and over again, and you get a man who's 42 years old, he's a virgin, he's never been confident about anything in his life. It's because of this one process that has just repeated itself over and over again, and so then that affects your potential moving forward. But you take an action, and let's say you get a positive result. That result reinforces that you are probably capable of doing so, and then that improves your potential. And so looking at this alone, it literally just starts here. Believing in yourself, not identifying your belief with the result that you get. You can cut the cycle right now and say, what self-image do I want to step into? Who do I want to become? And here's the thing, you have to take action. That's a given. You can't get a result without taking action. But at the end of the day, you can't let your self-image and your belief in yourself be affected by the results you get. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, this is the thing I loved about them when I would watch them growing up, their absolute belief in their self. Kobe Bryant, his first rookie season in the NBA, he's this all-star kid who's coming out of high school, going into the NBA. They lose in the playoffs his first year, his rookie year, because he was just airballing three-pointers, airballing shots. He got a negative result and his team lost. The fact that he was missing shots, Kobe Bryant is the epitome of, I don't care if I airball, I'm still gonna shoot again. And to a detriment, some might argue, but he died a legend because he never let his results affect his belief in himself. He always believed in himself and he kept taking action regardless. That's the lesson here, the takeaway. Sometimes that self-doubt can creep in, but again, it really comes down to your self-image. Are you the type of person who's gonna make it happen regardless or not? Logan Paul, he's fighting Floyd Mayweather. Who is he to believe that he can beat the greatest boxer of all time, right? A guy who's never lost, who is he to believe that he can do it? But this man, he's delusionally optimistic about his ability to beat Floyd Mayweather because he has absolute belief in himself. The only way you fail is if you stop or you die first.
I don't want anyone to tell me anything is impossible ever again.